This video is sponsored by Surfshark.
The new OnePlus 15 is here, and there are many reasons to be extremely excited, but also those to be skeptical and maybe even sad. But I wanted to cover this as it came hot off the press, and dig into some of the finer details of OnePlus's latest flagship model and what that means not only for those with a predecessor, but the likes of Apple, Google and Samsung in the broader high-end smartphone market. So let's dig into that. Hey guys, I'm Ryan Thomas, and can we first take a minute to debrief and really think about the fact that this phone has a 7300 mAh battery. That's almost 50% more than the iPhone 17 Pro Max, the Pixel 10 Pro XL and the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Almost half again. That's mad. And make no bones about it, the OnePlus 12 and 13's batteries were some of the best of their respective generations. We know OnePlus is capable of building a phone that lasts a long time and software that optimizes for battery life, but chuck on an extra 1300 mAh of pure capacity, this could be like a 3-day phone for some people. Add on 120 watt wired and 50 watt wireless charging, the OnePlus 15 is destined to be a real spec beast, and more so now than we really had last year. That was already a pretty good phone. And we'll jump into the rest of the OnePlus 15 after a message from today's sponsor.
What's almost become a staple of a mobile phone toolkit these days has to be a VPN. And not only does Surfshark work on our beloved Android, but also macOS, iOS, Windows and more, Surfshark lets you activate on unlimited devices and access servers across 100 locations worldwide. It not only allows you to secure your connection via tunneling your traffic, but it also lets you use websites that are typically geo-locked or even access content that's only available on other versions of services like Netflix. Or if you're a Premier League fan like me, being able to go on holiday and log into the normal services you typically watch the game on is so easy with Surfshark. There are different plans to suit your use case, so check out the link in the video description to see what works best for you and to get Surfshark for yourself. And a big thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring today's content.
Alright, so there are more spec bumps across the board here. We've got a new completely flat display, similar size to last year, a little bit smaller, but now 165Hz instead of 120, and with a slightly higher peak brightness as well. Now, OnePlus 13's panel was already pretty good, so this is potentially going to be an absolute beast. Though I must say, I can't see everyone feeling the full effects of that massive display at 165Hz. Interestingly though, OnePlus has confirmed a drop in resolution to what it's calling 1.5K, which isn't quite how that naming scheme works. It's basically a slightly taller but thinner version of Quad HD. We're talking 2772 by 1272 instead of 3168 by 1440. A little drop in resolution, not a massive downgrade, but we'll have to see what it's actually like in person. I actually think the thing that might get people on board here is the fact that that is a totally flat screen, not the fact it's a higher refresh rate. And actually that sort of conforming applies a lot to the rest of the phone. The wacky OnePlus design aesthetics of the last couple of generations, they're seemingly going away in favour of a more inline industrial design. This could go either way for a lot of people, but I do feel like there are many less likely to be put off by the big circular camera bump that we would have traditionally seen with the more conformist flat sides. And maybe the 15 is more accessible because of that. The colours also look really good this year. I'm a big fan of that purple in the marketing material, but I don't know if it matches the really cool blue that we got last year. The OnePlus 15 also ditches the alert slider for a more customizable button, and again this is likely to divide opinion. I personally prefer the hardware alert slider, but Apple has switched it out for a button, and I guess OnePlus just wanted to follow suit, maybe even more evident by its flat sides and its flat front and back, sort of backing away from the traditional OnePlus in pursuit of something that fits more in line with Apple. I don't know really how to feel about that right now, but I also don't have the phone in front of me, so I'll keep an open mind for what it's actually going to be like. Something that certainly won't be controversial is the use of the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. Rubbish name aside, this is a hyper fast chip, and we've already seen it a couple of phones already. In traditional OnePlus fashion, I'm not expecting this phone to be slow. It looks like some SKUs are going to have 12 gigs of RAM, some are going to have 16 gigs, and it's all going to depend on where you get your model from and how much storage you get. I would have personally liked to have seen 16 gigabytes across the whole board, but I don't think it will make a huge huge difference in practice. And also all models get UFS 4.1 storage, which is super fast, big thumbs up for that, should keep the phone feeling fresher for longer. This phone is likely to completely smoke the Google Pixel, maybe even the iPhone in performance, but we'll be sure to put it through its full paces when we get a review unit in, so make sure you get subscribed to not miss that coverage. But where things could get a little bit slippery is the camera section. Now, OnePlus has cut ties with Hasselblad for its endorsed color tuning pipeline. For me, this is certainly an opinion, by the way. OnePlus's cameras have caught up with the big three in the West over the last few years, and a significant part of this has been the colors just look way more natural and better sorted than the OnePlus of the 2010s. It's a stark difference, but it's not all because of that software. I think the hardware has also been very competitive, particularly in the OnePlus 12, which had a larger ultra-wide sensor and a 64 megapixel telephoto. That camera system was fantastic. I'm not going to completely disregard this camera before it's here. I'm keeping an optimistic, open mind here. The initial specs of this system are promising on paper, but OnePlus also hasn't confirmed any sensor sizes, which to me could smell a bit of a downgrade when you consider the leaks and rumours that we've had about the OnePlus 15's cameras. The rumours go that we are about to see smaller sensors in the main and the telephotos. It's possible that all three sensors actually on the back of the OnePlus 15 are smaller than in the phone we had 2 generations ago with the OnePlus 12. And with OnePlus's own Detail Max engine in place of that aforementioned Hasselblad endorsed color pipeline, there have been some significant variable changes, enough to properly make a big impact on how the OnePlus 15 takes pictures in the real world. If OnePlus pulls off this processing and manages to bypass the issues that would come on by using smaller sensors, then it's going to be fantastic. But if they don't manage to pull that off, it's going to be a massive blow, because the company was on a roll with the OnePlus 11, more so the 12 and then the 13. And given we aren't seeing any of those crazy 5 or 10 times telephotos, you know, like the 200 megapixel things, and with Google having created a monster long lens with the 100x super AI zoom, this is going to be a serious test of OnePlus's resolve and quality, and I personally look forward to investigating it when I get my hands on a unit. We're getting all the latest up-to-date mini specs, you know, Wi-Fi 7, an ultrasonic in-display fingerprint scanner, 8K 30 video, UFS 4.1 storage, IP69K and 6.8, and of course Android 16. And the OnePlus 15 has launched in China and is looking like it's going to get a worldwide release, actually in the not too distant future, potentially earlier than last time around, to be able to beat Samsung to the punch of a Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 powered Android model here in the West. And that's when we'll find out how much money OnePlus is charging for this perhaps controversial, perhaps upgrade / downgrade kind of thing with its new phone. The OnePlus 13 launched at $900 USD, so let's see if the company could match that again. And of course, we don't know what's going to happen until we have it in front of us, so let's keep an open mind and see what they can do. But what we can say is that in a sea of phones that are just doing basically the same thing every year, this big shift is certainly exciting, either for good or for bad. Guys, let me know your thoughts on the OnePlus 15 in the comment section. Are you apprehensive about those camera specifics, or are you kind of sad the design has moved away from traditional OnePlus and fallen very much in line with every other phone coming out right now? Or are you positively optimistic about OnePlus's Detail Max engine? You know, the crazy battery, the crazy charging, the fact it's using the new chip as well. I mean, there's a lot going on here, a lot of changes made from last year's model, and I think that it could really give Samsung and Google a proper run for their money this year. Anyway, whilst you're down there in the comment section, be sure to like if you enjoyed today's content, and subscribe to never miss another upload. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been Ryan Thomas, and I will catch you later. Cheers.